Sonic, the heart of your system.
Hello, BRIONY here from Kit Guru, and in this video I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. So about 18 months ago I did a review of the Noble Chair's Epic chair, and I actually really liked it. I scored it a 9 out of 10, and since then I've been using it every day while I've been working at my desk, while I've been recording videos and things. So it's been a very well used chair. It is showing a couple of signs really, and I basically want to do a little bit of an update video. So I've got my old chair here, and then I've also got a brand new Icon chair here next to me. So the couple of differences I've noticed, in general, it's got more comfortable, so that's definitely a bonus. When I first got the chair, I did sort of say in the review that it did seem to be a little bit hard. Even the 2 weeks that I was sort of testing it, it did begin to loosen up, and now over a year later, it is much more comfortable. Also, I noticed that the pillow is kind of flattened down a little bit, which also makes it more comfortable. And then something like the armrests slightly loosen up as well, so they're not quite as stiff as like the newer chair. And also, it has sort of discolored slightly. I think probably the downfall of having a white chair is that when I'm wearing like dark denim jeans, you can basically see like the dark navy sort of on the back of the chair. I did try and clean it actually before this video. I didn't try it too much because, as you'll see later on, we're going to do something really horrific to this chair. But it did actually seem to clean up quite well, but it just sort of has slightly discolored over time. But I didn't really notice until I actually got the new chair, and the new one's very white in comparison. So that's basically like a quick update. I think this chair seems to hold up really well. The leather and, well, not leather, but pleather has held up really well. It hasn't scratched or ripped or started to peel like you get with some of the cheaper chairs I've had in the past. Like cheaper office chairs seem to peel and things. So in general, I do think it has held up really well. And then for the next part of the video, I'm actually gonna take this chair apart. I'm going to do a little bit of a dissection. I've got Stephen here that works for Noble Chairs in the UK. He's going to help me take apart this my old chair, and we're going to compare it to a cheaper chair that you can buy on Amazon. Because you notice that a lot of people say in the reviews, why is that chair £300? Like, what are you actually getting for your money? And it's quite hard to tell just from taking a look at the outside of the chair. Obviously there's a few things, but I think a lot of what you get probably is what's going on inside, and probably is what makes it more comfortable than like a cheaper chair. So we're basically going to cut it open and take a look at all the insides and see if we can do a quick comparison and talk about what we're noticing with the differences and things. So I've now brought Stephen on frame. He's now on camera here. I've actually made him sit down because he's 6'3". So if he was stood up, you'd just see like the top half of his head, and trying to frame everything in the same image is actually quite awkward. But yeah, he's sat down for the moment so you can actually see his face. And Stephen is sat on our £60 Amazon chair, bestseller chair. I think 60 or 70 pounds. Basically, it's like one of those sort of cheapy chairs. It's a really high selling chair on Amazon, and this is the one we're going to cut open and compare to the £300 Noble chair. Because like I said, a lot of people have noticed, oh, why is the chair so expensive? Why don't you just buy a cheaper one off of Amazon? So we're going to cut it open and see if we can find some differences. Hopefully there are some differences. I think Stephen's pretty confident there are going to be some differences. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, let's basically get started. We've got some tools here. So I've got my OSMO pocket, so I'm going to use this to do some close-up shots of the really good peeling and cutting action. And then we've got some knives, and I've got some gloves because I don't want to cut my hand open. So yeah, let's get going.
All right, should we start on this one?
Yeah, I think if we're going to start off with the cheaper Amazon chair, see what we can find, and maybe talk about what it's like, and then we'll start off with opening up the Noble chair.
I feel like I'm doing an operation.
Yeah. This chair needs major surgery.
Okay. Let's try. Ooh.
Okay, so that looks like it's got foamy, it's like an inbuilt pillow, so it's got like foamy stuff in the middle, kind of like spidery, furry stuff, and then like a foam pad.
It's like cotton wool almost.
And there's some fabric underneath. We're going to cut it open. Yeah. It's a good idea Stephen's doing this, actually. It's probably a lot stronger than me. So maybe I can have a go at the Noble chair. That's going to end badly, isn't it? Okay, so more foam.
I'm thinking maybe if I cut down here, I might be able to...
Yeah, we want to get some good peeling. Yeah, rip it, rip it.
There we go, that's easier. Okay.
Let all your aggression out on it.
So that's the first layer off, I guess.
Okay, so we can see, I'm just going to have a little feel. Do you want to hold the camera?
Yep.
Okay. I really want, it feels like quite easy to rip. I'm going to dig down. So it's this kind of squidgy foam, grey squidgy foam. This is a lot of fun, actually. It's held on to the wood with like string, and then it's a wooden frame underneath. So no metal to be found. And from doing a Noble Chairs video, I remember part of the marketing stuff that I was sent is that it's got a steel frame. So
Yeah.
cheaper chair looks like it's lacking that. Let's rip.
I think with this foam as well, it's a bit too soft. I think over time, when you sat on it, it will just literally turn into a pancake.
Oh, you reckon?
It's,
Squidgy.
yeah.
It is quite squidgy, actually. That's one thing I noticed with the Noble chairs. Like, obviously mine's loosened up a lot over time, but when you first get it, it is quite hard. But I think maybe that's a good thing, because if it starts off kind of a little bit harder, then it's not gonna compress loads. Whereas like this starts off squishy, but you might just end up sitting on the wood in the end. If I'm assuming there's probably wood under here as well.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think the good thing with Noble chairs being firm as well, it actually supports your back.
Yeah, well, they are very comfortable. It makes sense.
I'm actually quite surprised that it is made out of wood. I don't know why. It seems a bit odd that a gaming chair has wood inside.
Yeah, I think in the listing of this one, it maybe said it was steel as well, but I don't know which part is steel, but. So it looks like the main construction of this chair, it's got a thin layer of PU, and then it's got like a layer of foam, then a layer of like some sort of fabricy stuff, then a layer of like this squishy grey foam, and then it's got a wooden back, and the foam's held on with like stringy stuff. So let's see if we can open up the Noble chair, and then we can do a comparison between what's in the Noble chair and what's in cheaper Amazon chair.
Yeah, I don't think it actually has a name. I think it's just...
Yeah, generic gaming racing style chair. Okay. So now I'm going to have a go at opening up the Noble chair. I'm going to take the pillow off, and I think I'm going to do like a dissection like all down the middle like we just did. Oh, I feel I'm really attached to this chair, so I actually feel pretty sad about doing it. It's been like a very loyal friend for a while, and it's very, very comfortable as well. This is actually really painful.
Don't do this.
I know. Ah. It's actually really upsetting to do. Okay, so I think the leather definitely looks thicker. Oh, there's like the Noble Chairs badge.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
That's held in with metal spikes. This is so horrible. I don't like doing it. It's so brutal. I'm sorry, chair.
I'm actually impressed how well it's kind of held together, even though you've had it
Yeah,
for
there's a lot
18
of,
months.
yeah, because I had a, like, before this I had like a cheaper start office chair.
Yeah.
And I think I had that for about a year and a half. and that was starting to show like signs of wear and tear, and it was obviously like nowhere near as comfortable.
Yeah.
And this, I think if we didn't cut it into small pieces, it would have kept going quite a bit longer as well. But I do get a nice white chair, so okay, and that's sort of like attached.
Yeah.
That plastic bit I think is like holding it on.
Yeah, that is secure.
I don't
That
think
is
there's
not
any
coming out.
chance of getting that out.
What if we just...
Oh!
There we go.
Got it.
Two
Violence
hands are better
wins.
than one.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, so that's quite a good. You can see like underneath. So with this chair, it looks like it's like PU leather. It's definitely thicker than what's on the cheaper chair. And then it's got like a layer of kind of foamy stuff underneath that's like glued on. And then it's got like a layer of like webbing. And like all the stitching goes like all the way through both those layers. And then underneath that, it's got this like foam, which is pretty tough. I'm gonna try cut it. So this chair, we managed to cut straight through and like rip it apart. The foam underneath is definitely a lot different in the Noble chair. So I'm guessing, is this what you call, is the cold cured? Cold cured
foam.
Yeah. So it's like specifically molded, I guess, whereas this is just kind of cut to size. So I'm guessing possibly this is where a lot of the price difference comes in.
Yeah, I would say the cheaper chair, they're literally just stuffing it with bits of foam that you use in the bathroom, I guess, like sponge.
Yeah, that does.
So
that is actually like sponge. This is very, very different.
So they just kind of wedge this in and pad it out a bit, whereas the Noble chairs, the foam is the same shape as the chair, like it's like a mould almost.
Yeah, it looks like it's all one piece as well.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, maybe that helps with like support or something, but it definitely looks like it's more expensive anyway. Okay, it's gonna be really hard to get at this.
So yeah, I think you might have to just literally rip it apart and maybe use a knife to break it apart.
Yeah, this requires quite a bit of strength, I think. Goodness. I'm gonna try if I can get like a chunk, because I want to see what's underneath this foam. I'm expecting a steel frame.
But you won't actually see it.
Yeah, is that what you say there is?
I could be lying. I could be like, yeah, it's got a steel frame.
Yeah. It could be wood.
Yeah, it could be. I'm actually shocked that there's wood inside. I don't know. Like, that doesn't feel like it's going to be ergonomic as well, like just having a wood frame.
It is definitely a lot different. Like, you can tell that it's cheaper for sure.
Yeah.
And it's probably not going to last. Oh, it's coming. Okay, I got a chunk off. So it looks like it's just really thick, dense foam. So like, I'm going to squish this. So there's quite a lot of like resistance, so I guess probably that helps with support. And this one's like, do you want to do a close-up? So really quite squishy, hard and firm. It's quite hard like to get it across on camera, but there's definitely a huge amount of difference in the amount of resistance between those two.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably where a lot of the money is going, and probably why this chair is more comfortable and will hopefully is it lasted really well as well, because it looks like, obviously I don't sit on this bit, but it's not like compressed or anything. It's still quite solid. Oh,
Do you see something?
I see frame.
I guess this is a good sign as well. This one's harder to rip apart.
Yeah.
So that kind of shows the quality in itself, that it's...
That's got to be a good sign, I think.
Yeah.
You're enjoying this, aren't you?
I am, yeah. Well, I don't know.
You're like, my Noble chair's picking up a good fight.
Yeah, it's like, it's winning the battle,
Yeah.
it's good. But, yeah, I'm enjoying
It's
it,
not
but
going
also
down
not
easy.
enjoying it, because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
my baby, you're killing.
Okay, so if you want to bring the camera around, you can probably see him quite closely. It looks like it's kind of like glued to the frame. So this is like glue, and it's like glued up to the steel frame. So I guess that's why it's so awkward to get off. This one didn't really put much of a fight. It was kind of attached with like string, and this one is like properly glued on. So I guess that's going to be better for. Oh, there's foam flying everywhere. Gosh, oh, my hands hurt from like pulling. So steel frame, lots of glue, and then like molded foam around it. And I'm guessing, I'm not going to cut it because it's so much effort, but
yeah.
I'm guessing this steel frame is going to go all the way around the edge.
Yeah. There's also something I know about this chair as well. Here, where it's stuck, there's actually a steel bar that goes down to hold this in place.
So this leather or pleather is held on by like a steel attachment.
Yeah. It's actually inside the...
Oh, inside the foam.
Yeah, this bit here. See the wire? You should be able to
Oh yeah,
pull it
I can
out.
kind of see it. I just can't. Let's see if we can cut it out.
So yeah, a lot of the framing is actually inside the foam.
Oh my god, yeah.
Is...
It just keeps going and going. Still going. There it is. Okay, so I'm guessing the idea of this is that it holds this edge in place.
Yeah, it basically keeps its shape.
So it stops it like kind of going loose and baggy. Is that what?
Yeah, it basically holds it tight to stop
Yeah.
it from stretching over time.
There's quite a lot of structural stuff going on. Ooh. That was buried really far in there. And then all the stitching as well, like the leather, I think that's like double thickness. So
yeah.
really, really.
Actually, yeah, if you just compare the top layer compared to this.
That's really thin. And this one's like 2 bits stitched together. Stitching and stuff goes like all the way through. There's definitely a huge difference anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
So that is, I'm assuming, what contributes to it lasting longer than like this chair.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's like 3 points. I think the first point is durability. Like you say, it's going to last a lot longer over time.
Yeah.
You are paying more, but it's going to last you longer. Like if you buy this and it's only going to last you a year.
Yeah.
This is going to last you, well, it's already lasted 18 months for you, and it's probably
Well, to me, the only difference is mainly like the discoloration, but that's, I've noticed that you can actually kind of get it off, and to be honest, I've never cleaned it like the whole time I've had it.
There we are, so, yeah.
The actual frame and stuff underneath and like the leather and things is basically the same as when I got it.
Yeah.
And from having one of those chairs from before, like you give it like a year and they definitely do not look or feel the same. So I think maybe it is like a lot of money, but in a way I do think it's probably worth it for like longevity. I find it really interesting now that I've actually seen what's underneath as well, because it sort of like helps to justify the price, I think, a bit better, because it's hard like when you're doing a review, and it's quite nice to have it for such a long period of time and actually know that my initial impression hasn't really changed from when I first reviewed it. And it's sort of quite impressive really how it's held up, which is nice, because sometimes that doesn't always happen with
for sure.
computer products and
that's
stuff.
like the first point, and then the second point I would say is ergonomics. If your chair is going to fall apart over time, that's not going to be good for your back. You want something that's going to always support you for long periods of time. Which is a good thing about Noble chairs. We do have the certifications as well for ergonomics. So if you're using it in an office space or at work or wherever, it will hold you for 9 hours straight with no problems. And then I guess the last thing is the look of it. if it's going to hold its shape and
Yeah.
stay well, it's always going to look good. So
yeah, that's true. Like the leather or pleather hasn't like peeled or anything.
yeah,
It's like, it seems quite thick. It's probably, I'm assuming it's like a completely different fabric to like what's used on this chair.
Yeah.
So even though it kind of looks the same, it basically has held up like a leather chair would, even though it's not leather. I think you guys do leather versions.
we do
anyway,
as well. Yeah.
But that was probably what I was, when I like reviewed the chair, I was sort of waiting to happen, because I've had it happen with chairs before, but it seems to have held up like quite well, so I'm quite impressed, and it's definitely got more comfortable. I kind of want to cut the seat open because I want to see what's happened, because it's definitely got more comfortable, so it'll be quite interesting to see what it looks like underneath.
It's almost like having a workout, isn't it? Trying to
It
destroy
is.
one
I'm
of
actually
these.
surprisingly warm.
I'm hot and sweaty.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at you do this rather than.
Okay, so to be honest, there's like maybe a slight discoloration in the foam from the back,
Yeah.
which is probably like from me spilling stuff on it, or just from like my sweat, I guess. And it does feel slightly less firm, which is, I guess, how it's sort of loosened up, but it doesn't look compressed, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
It's surprisingly held up pretty well. And then I guess all of these bits, the backing just kind of come off the leather, but I don't think that's probably going to make much difference.
No.
But that's actually surprising. I was expecting like kind of a dimple, like where I've been sitting, like kind of a bum-shaped dimple, but it's actually looks pretty similar to this foam. It's just
Yeah.
discolored slightly. That's not bad at all.
Oh, can you rip that?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Let's take the seat. Oh, there we go. Take a big chunk of this foam out. Nice. So there's more of those metal rods down here. And then from like taking, I guess that's almost like a cross section. So you can see like the top layer is kind of like discolored from, I don't know, oils or drink spills or stuff like that. And then like the inner foam looks pretty much the same, and it's still got a lot of resistance. Like it's not compressed or anything. So that's still why, even after all the time I've had it, it's still quite supportive. That's really interesting. I was expecting it to look a lot grosser than it does, to be honest. This bit obviously doesn't get much as much use as like the seat bit,
it all
but
falls here, doesn't
yeah.
it? If anything that you drop or.
no, it's actually done surprisingly well. And then underneath, that's just like a sheet of fabric, and then we've got like the bottom of the chair with the metal frame. And obviously the metal parts of this chair are just like, yeah. Oh, so that shows that's the frame that goes all the way around and up through the foam. That's really cool. I've seen the inside.
Yeah. And I know the frame also goes into this bit as well.
Oh, these like little side cushions.
Yeah.
I can feel it. There we go.
There we go.
We're getting in. Okay, so it looks like the foam kind of goes like across the seat, then up these bits, and then the little bits that kind of stick up at the side that I guess like help support you or like
keep you in your seat.
It's
so
more
that-
like the design, isn't it? Because it's like that
Yeah.
racing style bucket design, but they have like a metal bit in as well. Because I noticed they compress slightly, but I'm guessing that probably helps to they maintain their shape still, so they don't just like flop over on the sides or whatever. But that's
like normally in a racing car, they're designed to keep you in your seat, but
yeah.
you don't move very fast in an office chair,
No.
so you should be fine.
I have definitely done a few spins in it, but I guess it's more for like the design than anything.
Yeah,
but
for
they
sure.
they have got like the metal frame that continues in those bits as well, which is why they have compressed slightly, but that you can sort of tell like the metal, I guess, is helping to hold it together. But I'm actually really impressed because I was expecting, I don't know, sort of like,
Be destroyed.
yeah, to look underneath. I thought maybe it would look a lot worse than it does, but it seems to have held up really well. So yeah, well done, chair. You did a good job. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It would have been interesting to see how long it would actually last.
Yeah, well, maybe the next one, I just hang on to it.
We'll do a
5-year update. 5 years time.
See you in 5 years.
Yeah, see if it's still going. But no, that seems good. So main differences, we'll go over them. So steel frame versus wooden frame.
Yeah.
This one, to me, the foam feels a lot firmer, so I'm guessing like more supportive, and also like it's not gonna compress so much over time. The leather on this one is a lot thicker than on the cheaper chair, so obviously I think that's probably gonna help with like, it's not gonna peel, it's not gonna rip, it's gonna last a bit longer. Also, this one was just harder to take apart, so I think probably maybe the stitching is obviously a lot better and stuff like that. So it's overall, should last longer. I think it's obviously more supportive because you've got better foam and stuff going on. And I think the main thing is just gonna last longer. So like you invest, in a way it's like an investment. So it's like £300 versus £70. But to me, it's sort of like, you're gonna be happier because you're more comfortable. I mean, when I first started, I did have like a cheaper chair. And I must say it was, I don't know, I had like lower back pain from sitting on my desk, but with using this chair, I don't really have it anymore. So that's definitely a good sign.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But yeah, so I think we spend a lot of money on our computers, and like the chair is almost the final step. And I do really like these because they come in white as well.
Yeah. Yeah, they are nice and white.
Yeah, all in all, I think a really interesting video to basically take it all apart and stuff. And
and I think you're right, people do forget about it. Like we spend so much upgrading our graphics cards and
I know,
processors
yeah.
that we're sat down in the chair majority of the time using it, and it's always forgotten about. So.
Yeah, you're sort of like investing in your spine.
Yeah, which is pretty important.
You don't get any extra FPS, but
you get extra life.
Yeah, you don't end up like crippled. But no, that was really interesting, quite fun as well. We let out some aggression.
Yeah, I feel my stress is just all gone now. I've just let it out on the chair.
But yeah, really cool. And thank you as well for replacing my chair, because I wanted to cut this chair up, but thankfully Stephen came to the rescue, and that's why I've got a new white chair as well, so I don't have to. Yeah,
I'm not that cool. I'm not just going to leave her.
the remnants.
Right, see you later. Hope you enjoy your chair.
Yeah. Thanks, Stephen. This one has gone beyond repair. Okay, so do you want to sit down so you can do the outtake, because you're so tall that I imagine you'll probably cut off the top of the camera. Okay, let's sit. I'll sit in this chair. You know what? It's still kind of comfortable.
Ow, there's something big on my back. Oh, it's just there. Okay. Well, that's stabbed. Right.
Okay, this has been Brownie from Kit Guru and Stephen from Noble Chairs. We have been destroying a couple of chairs today so we could show you the difference between their £300 Epic series and a cheapy £80 chair from Amazon. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video from Kit Guru, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more from Kit Guru, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and also please remember to press the little bell icon as well so you get a notification every time a new video goes live.